Hey, how's it going? My name's Tom. It's 2:30 a.m. Friday, December 14th. Yesterday was Thursday, December 13th. Big spooky day. Hope nobody came trick-or-treating, knocking on your front door. Want some candy. Although that's something I would have done. Anyways, here we go. We're going to talk about this storm that's coming up, the nor'easter-like storm that's coming up this weekend on Sunday to be specific. Anyways, here's our current surface map, the latest one. Here's our big Aleutian low out in near Alaska over here near BC. It's going to come in and it's going to smack this ridge over here. We've got tropical storm or subtropical storm, whatever it is, depression Olga down here, and there's our tropical trough, like that, swinging through Florida. And here's our northern clipper, and here's our southern clipper. This one brought quite a bit of snow actually to Massachusetts. We got over here in southern Ontario, we got some trace amounts, anywhere from 2 to about 10 centimeters, I've heard. But Massachusetts, wow, they got a lot of snow out of this. Some people got 6, 7, 8 inches out of this system over here. It's amazing what they can do when they get out over the water and they just draw on that moisture. So let's get on to the big stuff now, the real important stuff. All right, here we go. This is the GFS. Let's take a look at the 500 heights. And what we're going to watch is the Aleutian low out here. Well, it's going to smack the coast of BC, and we have to watch this because the ridge, which will be over here, it might actually compress it, and that'll deepen the trough. And then the other ridge over here, if that goes deep, this one could get amplified, and whatever. Ooh, I'll show you that all right now. So here we go. This is 7 a.m. and boom, it hits the coast at 1 a.m. Saturday. Let's go back over here. 1 a.m. Saturday. So here's our ridge right here. Here's our trough. Here's a secondary ridge, and here's another trough. Like I said, if this gets amplified, it'll amplify the trough here. This could amplify the ridge here, which will amplify the trough there, and vice versa. So it's interesting. It's like a big train wreck, if you can envision a train wreck. So let's go out. So it's December 15th, 1 a.m. And boom, there's our trough swinging through. Now, if you remember, here's the vortex. The vortex is back here, closer to Friday, and it swings through like that. If you remember with the previous GFS runs, the vortex was always trying to head north like that. But for some reason, it was picking up the convective stuff along the trough here, the tropical stuff, and it was trying to suck the vortex down into the trough, which isn't going to happen. If anything, the tropical stuff will get drawn in. And here's also this, I'm not sure if that's feedback or whatever it is. I don't think so. It looks like this is some tropical energy that broke off the trough and it's getting pushed north of the initial vortex. So that's interesting to see here. So that could be, we'll have to see what that does over here. So we're going out, and around 7 a.m. our trough begins to go negative, and by Sunday at 1 p.m. it's full out negative. Our vortex is over here, and it's going to scoot off like that. And you can see it doing that right into the Maritimes. They're going to get whacked, and the northeast U.S. is going to get whacked, and we might get a good bit of snow in southern Ontario here. And this is the next one coming through. We'll have to see what that one is. What's it going to do? That's interesting. I'll have to keep that. Well, we're going more zonal, but we'll have to keep a watch on that one. Here's a surface map. We're going to run through. There's our low up near Alaska, hitting BC. There's a ridge. There's a trough. There's the next ridge. There's a trough. Here it goes through. And here, you can see what it's doing. Here's the low right here, and here's all the tropical stuff. And watch, it's going to get sucked into the low like that. And there you go. It gets sucked in. And now you can actually see two complete separate frontal systems developing, a tropical one and or not a tropical one, but here's our true extratropical system here, and here's our secondary low with a lot of tropical moisture and stuff worked in. This is actually, most of the heights down in this area are in the 570 plus range, so those are generally 30-degree latitude heights, so it's pretty, that's around there somewhere. So that's pretty deep down there anyways. It's where hurricanes and stuff form. And you can see we have two separate low pressure systems, and this is what I thought. The Appalachians are somewhere in there, and it wants to ride this system up as a double barrel system. Now that's what I initially thought. If you remember, it had one low, and then all of a sudden the low was appearing over here with the tropical stuff and up the coast and off. It's not going to do that. We know that now. I just think that it's a little off over here. I think that what it wants to do is it wants to, at around 7 a.m. we have two concentric lows, 1, 2, and then by 1 p.m. we only have one. And I'll show you that. Watch. See, just it all merges over here near New York City into one low. I think it's going to hang on a little longer. I think at this time, 1 p.m. Sunday, we'll still have two lows, one here, one just off the coast, like literally a stone's throw off the coast over the water, and it'll merge somewhere up here over northern Massachusetts, somewhere right around there, rather than where it wants to do it right now. So let's go back to the front over here. Why is it doing this now? Always some sort of problems. Let's take a look at the NAM. What you can see here is the energy is pretty similar, except you'll see it's much further west than the GFS energy. Here's the NAM energy. GFS energy is out there closer to Virginia. Um, let's take a look at the surface map here. You can see, oh, there we go. I like the NAM because it actually holds on to the concentric lows a little longer than the GFS does. Here's number 1, here's number 2, and you'll notice the time is 1800, so it's 1 p.m. Sunday. So it's sort of going along with me here, and it's bringing together the low just south of Massachusetts. I think it's going to happen just north, but this wants to do it just south. Anyways, Southern Ontario is generally looking at anywhere from, northern extent, you're looking at 24-hour precipitation totals of about 5 centimeters. Areas closer to the U.S. border, you may see as much as 25, 30 centimeters. I think for the most part, the storm is as west as it's going to get. It may work another, I don't know, about 50 kilometers over at the most. So we could actually see the heavier snow band, which is sitting right in here, work its way over Toronto and over my house and stuff like that. And you guys down in Hamilton and Niagara and Simcoe, oh boy, you guys are going to get whacked. You're going to get smacked over the head with some good snow. And I wouldn't even be surprised if we saw some upwind lake and, or not even, we'll get lake enhancement, but some actual lake effect bands embedded, or a big single band in there. It depends what the shear's like, but it looks good from what I can tell over here. So anyways, that's what I think is going to happen here. If you're on the east coast of the U.S., you're going to get snow changing to ice pellets, maybe freezing rain, and then on the backside when the front swings through, you're going to get a bit more snow, and everything's going to freeze up, and it's going to be terrible and miserable. So that's what I'm looking at over here, and that's mainly what we have to watch out for. The main thing, though, that we do have to keep an eye on is what this low is going to do over here. Whether it's going to hang out or it's going to try and get sucked in sooner. I don't think it's going to try and get sucked in sooner. I think the low will still be somewhere up here, and it is going to vanish. The two lows, the coastal low and the east low, the west low, will merge over northern Massachusetts, and it'll go up into the Maritimes as a storm. One last thing that I have to point out to you guys is, guys and girls I should say, is check out how the heights drop on the NAM, for example. We have, here it is 7 a.m. Sunday, and here is the model on 1 p.m. Sunday. You can see here's the 546 thickness. Here's the 540 line. So this is our snow line or rain line, and the stuff in between is mixed or rain. And here it is. You can see that all of a sudden the 540 line gets all the way over here, and the 546 line is like that. Whereas, if you remember 6 hours earlier, this area was seeing primarily rain. So what happened? Well, it's simple. The trough went negative, and I'll show you that right here. Here we go. You can see it's more positive, like so, and then it goes really negative in the next run right here. It's starting to go really negative, and then it just goes bonkers after that. 7 p.m. it's just swinging in there, and we do some other stuff swinging back here. But what happens is that when a trough goes negative, when a trough, for example, is positive, the east side of the trough tends to be warmer. You have warmer air at the 500s there and colder air on the backside over the west side. When it goes negative, it goes like, oh, don't let me highlight that slide. When it goes negative, what happens is it goes like that, right? So all of a sudden the cold air swings over a pretty beefy precipitation area. You have minus 30, 40 air, 5 kilometers up over 3, 4 degree air at about 1.5 kilometers. So what happens? The air at 1.5 kilometers rises into the colder air. You get convection and mixing. You get forced advection from the backside as cooler air tries to sink in and take its place, and then because of all this uplifting, the rain tends to mix out and you get snow, and the result is that you see significant height falls very rapidly in a short space of time. So that's something to look for when you're watching these systems. So that's about it. I'll try and keep you guys up to date. Like I said before, this is going to be a good storm, and hopefully it'll go as planned and it won't die at the last minute. But I don't think that's going to happen. If I don't get back to you, have a good life, I guess. Take it easy, guys.